Hello, and welcome to MSV Movie Mania. My name is Ricky Costa, and I am your host. I'm a sophomore here at the College of Mount St. Vincent's, and I am involved in Mount Media Club.
I'm Alex Plumacher. I'm your other host. I'm a communications major sophomore here at the Mount, and I guess we could just say welcome to MSV Movie Mania.
We're very happy to bring this show to you and share our views of film.
Yeah.
Our film for today is Furious 7. In the 7th chapter of the Fast and Furious saga, terrorist Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham, begins hunting Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, to avenge his brother Owen, who is severely injured at the hands of Toretto. When Shaw kills one of their own, Dom and the gang must hunt him down before he hunts them down. With returning stars such as Dwayne Johnson and new additions to the cast such as Kurt Russell, Furious 7 was released on April 3rd, 2015. The film received positive reviews from critics, scoring an 82 on Rotten Tomatoes, and grossed over $1.5 billion worldwide. Alex, what do you think of Furious 7?
Okay, well, before we get into it, me and Ricky have pretty opposite views of how we take movies.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
I'm much more plot-driven, whereas Ricky is very excited by explosions and...
Essentially, we've spent the last 5 years arguing about movies. We never really agree.
So, obviously, you're a fan of Fast and Furious franchise.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think of it before you even saw Furious 7?
What I think of the movie? Okay, I was very much looking forward to it. I wasn't sure how they're going to handle the deal with Paul Walker because obviously he perished a year and a half prior when they were halfway through filming. And I wasn't sure how, since they still have half the film to do, I wasn't sure how they would handle that. But nonetheless, it was a Fast and Furious movie, and I was very excited. And I think I saw it opening weekend with my family.
Of course you did.
What were your views going into Furious 7, Alex?
Okay, so I obviously didn't really like any of the Fast and Furious movies after the first one.
Oh,
they kind of went too far away from...
You told me you liked the 5th one. You said Fast 5 was a good movie.
No, I said they were entertaining. They're entertaining movies. I don't like them, though.
All right.
So my expectations were pretty low for this.
I can imagine. All right, and what did you think of it?
All right, well, I think we should go over the plot first, and then we'll get into, subgroups of it, and then final opinion. So
sounds good.
My idea of the plot is it was incredibly convenient. It revolves around them trying to find some girl who knows how to hack some system to get some code to find the main guy, Deckard Shaw,
who keeps on showing up anyway.
Who conveniently shows up to stop them from figuring out where he is.
That I agree with. I mean, the whole plot is they're trying to get this, the God's Eye, the computer chip, to track Shaw, but he just shows up everywhere they go anyway. There's no point to it. Everywhere they go, he just magically appears. And after the battles are done, they're like, we need to find Shaw. And then it's like, he was just here. You can probably track him easily.
Honestly, you could take out the entire middle hour and 45 minutes, just throw in the intro where it's Shaw standing over his brother in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
And then switch to the last fight scene between Jason Statham and Vin Diesel. And that's the entire plot. Nothing else matters. You got an upset brother and the guy who hurt his little brother. They fight, the end.
Well, but then how do you get all the big car action that audiences come to expect?
Well, that doesn't matter anymore because it's not a racing movie.
Oh, come on.
It's an action movie.
You're still going with... Yeah, they've changed, but it's still about cars.
Barely.
They drive cars out of planes, drive cars through skyscrapers.
That's not how racing movies are supposed to work.
This isn't a racing movie.
All right, fair enough.
All All right, but what did you think of? You want to just keep going on the?
I mean, there's not much to talk about the plot considering it doesn't exist.
All right, let's talk about other than. Well, there's more to the film than the plot. Alex, if you go these films for the plot, then these films aren't really meant for you. If these.
No, not at all.
No.
The first one, yes. After that, no.
Yeah, these films aren't about the story. They're about these characters, great characters, and about the adventures they go on and the crazy car action.
So characters and adventures they go on being story.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's more to. I wouldn't call. I would say they are great, even if the story is not always great. I would say the characters like Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker. They're great characters, and they're fun to go on adventures with. And I think that, the writing's not always great, but I mean, I think it's about more than that. It's about these adventures they go on, and a little convenient adventures, as you would call it. But
all right. Well, since I guess we're not discussing plot, because again, it's not there.
Yes.
Let's go on to the 3 main action sequences in the movie.
Okay, sure.
So, obviously you were more excited by those than I was, so why don't you take it off?
All right. The first big action scene, well, at least the first one involving cars, was the plane jump in which our 5 protagonists literally drive their cars out of planes because that's the one way they can reach the spot they need on the mountain. It goes pretty well for them.
Did you enjoy the action scene? Did it make sense to you?
I thought it was fun.
All right.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good time. It was entertaining. A lot of funny scenes between the characters, and I remember you had some objections about it.
I was making some good commentary while we were watching it. Yeah.
Because once the whole point of this scene is they need to find this woman who can get them the chip, who can get them Deckard Shaw.
Who magically shows up.
Yes, but halfway through the action scene, Deckard Shaw shows up anyway. So that kind of defeats the purpose of the plot, but they just want to give Jason Statham some screen time. So
okay.
All right, what were your objections towards the plane scene followed by the mountain chase?
The plane scene, I liked how they introduced it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
In the beginning when they're all getting ready to just drop.
Yeah. You're not sure what they're on, then you just see the plane flying by the door. That was good.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. While they're chasing the RV or the bus or whatever it is, and they start getting miniguns shot at them, just none of those cars should have survived.
They got them from the military base. Dom specifically said he wants them. Kurt Russell said you can build them any way you want for the mission. So then Dom said, it's not just about being fast this time. So then
that's true, actually.
Yeah. So then he has Ludacris make his bulletproof. That's why the other 3 are like behind him. He's their shield.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, but
very early in the action sequence when they're all jumping out of the plane and Tyrese Gibson doesn't want to jump out, and they finally just push him pretty much.
They get the parachute to come out the back because they expected this would happen.
My problem is he should have. I mean, he was in the plane for what, an extra 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, probably.
He should have been like 10 miles down the road, way behind them, but he ends up just spinning in circles.
Well, he was behind them. I mean, the other 4 touched down, and then he's kind of still left in there. And
yeah, but he's like 10 feet away. He should have been miles gone. Later in the action sequence, when Vin Diesel and Jason Statham are driving their cars down a cliff for 20 minutes, and eventually Vin Diesel ends up somewhere on even further down.
On the very edge of a cliff, yes.
And then gets back up the hill somehow. And then Jason Statham, whose car is ruined. Vin Diesel's still in a car, mind you.
Yeah.
Guns it up the mountain. Jason Statham sprints up the mountain.
He was ex-military.
Cool. Sprints down the mountain. And by the time Vin Diesel gets surrounded by a bunch of other cars, which, mind you, move a lot faster than Jason Statham, he has a vantage point with a sniper rifle. I mean, we're working with the Flash here.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe that could
explain that one.
maybe that was another. It could have been a lower road. Like maybe the mountain had more than one road. Although, yeah, I guess they would have passed that while they were going down. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I have nothing for that one.
Later in the film, when they're in Abu Dhabi and they have to steal the chip from the Prince of Abu Dhabi's car or
Because
whatever.
of course you put the chip in a car.
Yes,
That's because it's
of
Fast and
course.
Furious.
Why not? In a penthouse.
Yeah, the car is on top of the penthouse because screenwriting. And of course he's having a party the day after they show up.
So while Tyrese Gibson is earning his paycheck in one half of the scene,
That was some funny
It was good.
improvisation.
Vin Diesel and Paul Walker go to get the chip.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel lifts by himself a 2,000-pound sports car, and he just looks like he's having a bad stomach day. Paul Walker looks at him. He's like, "Oh, you got this? Yeah, no problem."
No. He looked at him like, go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have it.
Why not just break into the car and break the chip out from the inside like they do later in the scene?
I have no idea. And somehow Michelle Rodriguez, who, as far as we know, her character has no training, takes on and defeats Ronda Rousey.
That's another thing. When she's fighting her, she pulls out a knife and stabs Ronda Rousey in the leg. And then she
cuts her.
She cuts her, and then she twirls around, and you see where she should have been stabbed, and it's fine.
Oh my God. I mean,
It's the little
All
things
right.
that annoy me.
well then these movies aren't really on for you because they're
They're sloppy.
if you look at it like that, every action movie is. If you're gonna nitpick every aspect of the film, then action movies aren't for you.
It wasn't even nitpicking. I watched it once, and I picked up on it.
Exactly, but you're nitpicking little whatever. But you're right. I mean, you're right. Not all makes sense, but it's fun. That's the point of movies. They're escapism. They're fun because the stuff that's happening can't really happen in real life. No, but that was I thought the Abu Dhabi heist was fun. Ludacris and the hacker girl from Game of Thrones, they were in the doing the tech work, and then again Jason Statham shows up.
How convenient.
Yes, why doesn't he have? Does he have like a big tracker thing too, or whatever. Anyway, it's all right. So then the security is locking down. So Ludacris says to Dom and Brian, get out of there. So they get in the car, drive around the big ballroom while Jason Statham is shooting grenade launchers at them.
And then they jump into the next tower.
Yeah, they drive through the next tower. Yeah, but that was a fun scene. And they jumped through the skyscraper. Then you get to the next one, which is under construction. Realize there's no brakes. Vin Diesel floors it. They go into the third.
Nice.
And then they get out. And then meanwhile, Paul Walker is getting the chip out from the bottom.
Right.
All right.
All of this while they're flying midair in a car.
Yeah.
I guess the last big sequence in the film is in LA when their budget kind of ran out and it's just a simple car chase because they wasted all their money on tower jumping.
Yeah, and plane jumping too.
Yes.
That scene, even for me, I very much enjoy action movies, action scenes. The final battle, like big half-hour car chase, that got a little too much, a little too over the top even for me. It was just, it was a little ridiculous. But I mean, it was fun, I guess. It was fun. It was just some of the stuff, like, all right, like
Three things in general bothered me about the last sequence.
Hold up. Before we start, should we do our spoiler warning?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Go to this time on the bottom here, and to fast forward to when our spoiler section ends, right here.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay, that leads me into the three main things that bothered me about the scene. One, the entire scene is based on whether or not you could see this girl in the car on any camera in LA.
Yeah.
All she has to do is put her head down and lay on the back seat.
Well, where's the action in that? You need big action scenes.
It's just There's cameras everywhere. None of them thought, just sit down, lay there, don't be seen. 2, when the tower gets blown up,
Oh my god.
killing I don't know how many people, The Rock looks out the window and is like, oh, urban terrorism. I guess Toretto needs help. And then 3 would just be The Rock in general.
I think the film really overlooked that tower. The tower, the terrorists destroyed it to stop the signal, and it was kind of inconvenience for the protagonist. But at least 1,000 people had to die because they were broadcasting. Otherwise, the tower wouldn't be being used by them. So
Yep.
I think they kind of overlooked that. It was just kind of more
Just
inconvenience.
overlook a collapsing tower in the middle of downtown LA.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. No
yeah.
one's dead.
And Dwayne Johnson, who was barely in the movie because he was probably filming something else, he got injured very early on. So he's like, he sees explosions right out his window, and he's like, Toretto. All the while, Dom Toretto and Deckard Shaw are having a big final battle on the rooftop, which is a sword fight with wrenches.
Yeah, it was basically the end of Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
How so?
but with humans.
How so? Wait,
The whole
there was a
pipe
sword
fighting
in that
thing?
movie?
They grabbed pipes and threw them at each other. Rise of the Planet of the
I
Apes.
don't even remember that. That was like a year. That was a while ago.
That came out like the same time as Fast and Furious 7.
No, it was last. Whatever. But anyway, wait, Rise or Dawn? Which one? The first or second one?
Either one. I don't know.
All right, whatever.
Stick to Furious 7. How's that?
All right. Anyway, yeah, the fight scene, that sword fight with, I feel that was, like, Dom isn't a sword fighter, and Jason Statham, as far as we know, I mean, well, maybe he could be, for all we know, but I feel that was too good. The choreographing for that fight was a little too good for people who don't seem to experience with swords. It seemed like a Star Wars battle, you know, like.
Okay, so now that we've gone through the whole plot and all that's wrong with it, what would you give it, given you're a fan?
Well, let's talk about. You want to talk about the ending first?
Hmm?
The ending with Paul Walker?
Okay, so give me your review without the ending, and then
Okay.
give it with the ending.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10, I'll give it 10. Why
You
not?
would give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Alright.
I had a lot of fun.
2 hours of nothing. 10 out of 10. Okay, now with the ending, the Paul Walker tribute, what would you give it?
10 out of 10.
All right. So the Paul Walker ending means nothing to you. I got it.
But I already give it the highest rating.
All right.
No, there's nothing higher I can give it.
That's fair.
All right. Up until the Paul Walker ending, what would you give the Furious 7 out of 10?
5.
Honestly, that's a lot higher because you spent the whole movie whining like a little girl over every single inconsistency.
Yeah.
So even when they pull the Corona out of the whatever,
Okay, that was the most convenient product placement in Hollywood
it was
history.
comedy. Who cares? And anyway, point being, you spent 2 hours whining, so it's actually kind of amazing. You give it 5 out of 10. I thought for sure you were gonna be a 1.
5 out of 10 because it made me laugh like twice,
All right.
and it was interesting to watch.
Okay. So with the Paul Walker ending, what would you give it?
With Paul Walker's final tribute, which I thought was really well, it was handled very respectfully because I feel like Vin Diesel just wrote it himself because they were such good friends.
Yeah.
7.
That's nice.
So a 10-minute scene adds an extra 2 points.
Yeah, and you could tell the dial. He's narrating as they're having their one last ride, and I think the narration. I have nothing to complain about the scene. The narration kind of seemed like borderline breaking the fourth wall because you kept saying the past tense.
Yeah.
That's why we were brothers, and I think it's kind of clear this is Vin Diesel talking to Paul Walker in heaven, not Dom Toretto talking to Brian O'Connor, because everything's in the past tense. But that's not a complaint. I thought the whole thing was beautiful. So emotional. It was very emotional. I think it's like the first movie since like Toy Story 3 that made the whole world cry. And yeah, I thought the ending was beautiful. And
All right, so 10 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I guess we can recommend watching it.
oh yeah, I would recommend it. And yeah, 7. That has to be passing by your standards, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
Right.
it was a fun last ride, or as
You know,
until
the next 3.
the next trilogy.
One last ride.
One
since,
last trilogy.
Since 5. Fast 5, one last ride. Fast and Furious 6,
No,
one last
Fast
ride.
5 is one last job. Fast 6, it was like every road has led to this. Fast 7, one last ride. Now, one last trilogy.
All right.
Well, he never said it was gonna. He's never said anyone's gonna be the last one until now with the last trilogy, but
This is true.
they've implied it in the films. There's been dialogue that's implied it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love these films, and you know, you're gonna do 8, 9, 10. Bring it on, because I'm a huge fan. I think this is the best film sagas of our generation. Maybe.
All right. So I think that does it for Furious 7. We're gonna cut to commercial break, and we will see you in a bit.
Doesn't matter what you did, where you were. If you go out there, you are an Avenger.
This Friday, experience the motion picture event critics are calling epic in every sense of the word.
You get one shot of this.
They haven't invented a screen big enough for Avengers Age of Ultron.
Not one of us can do it without the others.
It's an exhilarating experience. You won't have more fun anywhere.
Show them what we got.
Avengers Age of Ultron, rated PG-13, Friday.
Welcome back to MSV Movie Mania.
It's a series premiere. It's okay. We can.
Yeah, series premiere.
We gotta get used to it.
I'm Alex still.
I'm
This
still
is-
Ricky.
All right, we're gonna move on to a news segment now that we're done with the movie review. Since we're talking about the Fast and Furious franchise,
Yeah.
I found a story the other day that Paul Walker's daughter is actually suing Porsche.
Oh, I saw that.
Because of
I
his
saw
accident?
that. Yeah, yeah.
She was claiming that the car was actually going slower than the police reported, and there was no reason for it to curve off the road and result in Paul Walker's death.
I think it's tragic no matter what. I'm interested to see if this goes anywhere, but either way, it's still very sad that he's gone. Okay, 2 things. First of all, how did this lamp get here? I just thought we had flowers.
No, it's been a lamp the whole time.
Really? Huh. All right. Sorry. Anyway, I just read somewhere real quick before I came here that if you see the new Terminator, Genesis.
Nope, I gave up after Salvation.
All right. Me too, but I thought this looked good. Anyway, apparently they just canceled the sequels or put them on hold at least because they didn't make enough money.
All of them?
Genesis was supposed to be the first movie in a trilogy, so now they didn't do enough money, so now they've been pulled off the schedule. And
That's fine. One less reboot to worry about.
all right. Well, who knows? Anything else going on in the news with movies?
Not really. I mean, the only thing
All right.
we really got going is the Steve Jobs movie coming up.
Yes. Oh God, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of Steve Jobs movies. Remember, freshman year of high school, we watched that one of the.
It was about the friendship between Bill Gates and Steve Jobs that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it was like a made-for-TV one. That was awful.
So yeah, basically, the third Steve Jobs movie to come out since his passing, starring Michael Fassbender. It's going to be out October 23rd, and unlike the past couple films, it's going to really focus on how much of a interesting character Steve Jobs could be when it came to the business world.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there hasn't been a good Steve Jobs movie yet. Like I haven't seen Jobs, Ashton Kutcher one, but
I don't think anyone did.
no, I think everyone just knew it was going to be terrible. Michael Fassbender is an outstanding actor. He was in the X-Men prequels. He was in 12 Years a Slave, and he's just phenomenal in those roles.
Next year he's going to be the new Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, he really and that series is in good hands then because he's an outstanding actor, and I'm very excited to see what he can do with the role of Steve Jobs. I think Kate Winslet's gonna be in it, and
Kate Winslet and Seth Rogen,
why is Seth Rogen in a drama film?
because he looks like Steve Wozniak, the co-founder, and he's got the beard for it.
Is he just gonna be like comic relief, or
Probably, yeah.
All right.
All right, so Steve Jobs, October 23rd. I'd recommend going to see it. I'm probably going to.
Oh, me too. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys a few recommendations. I hope you watch them because we enjoyed them a little bit, maybe.
What? I didn't see yours.
well,
I
you-
enjoyed mine.
So what movie would you recommend?
Recently, I saw Selma, which came out back in January. It's the story of Martin Luther King Jr. and his march in Selma to stand up for black voting rights, which were legal but not enforced. When President Johnson refused to help, Martin Luther King Jr. and his followers took to Selma, and they went and they decided to pretty much just march for their freedom. And it's about the chronicles of what they did there, and it was a fantastic movie. Probably the most powerful film I've seen in a long time. And it was the guy who played him was great, David Oyelowo. He did a phenomenal performance.
Okay, I would recommend Infini. It's on Netflix now. It's the first movie by director Shane Abbas. It's about a 23rd century group of mercenaries who have to go to the farthest known space station from Earth to rescue one of their own while dealing with a possible biological contaminant outbreak.
Who's in that?
It stars, no one really, they're all C or D list celebrities.
okay.
There is the minor Hemsworth sibling on there,
Liam or Chris?
the third one.
Is a third?
There's a third Hemsworth. Surprise.
Is he like Owen Wilson's brother? You just no one know.
Well, Luke Wilson had a career before Owen. He's.
All right, but still, no one knows who he is today.
It's basically his only movie out that I know of.
All right. Well, point being, he's a discount Hemsworth,
Yeah.
I assume.
I would recommend watching it. It was fun. It has a really powerful ending, actually.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. So next week on the show, we are going to be doing both Avengers films, Marvel's The Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, these, I know I've seen both films. I love those films. Looking forward to seeing them again. Alex, you saw the first one, right?
I saw the first Avengers.
And what about this new one? You seen that yet?
No. I am going to be watching that this week. And anyone who wants to get a heads up and to actually try and follow our conversation about it, watch it before, I guess, next Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
All right. So watch it, critique it if you want. For now, I'm Alex.
And I'm Ricky. And thank you for joining us in the series premiere of MSV Movie Mania.